Good afternoon, Shed fans. Welcome back. Thanks for watching. This video is going to be the quickest video, just about building Tamiya dampers. If you've not built them before, I suppose it's a bit of a video for you to get a few tips off her. But if you have built them, then it's not really, probably not your sort of video. But what I've done is I've got my damper off them bits, got a bag of guts out. I've built two already. That's going to be, I'm using this aluminium foot with rose joint instead of the ball connector. So to get to that stage, get your shock rod, your piston rod, E-clip at bottom, and you've got a disc, and you can pick from these different discs. You can pick from these different discs for holes, so you can have not much fluid will run through that one hole, and then as you go up your holes, it rebounds quicker. So if you want a slow rebound rate, you put number 1 hole. So I've got a 1 hole on this one. Then these ones are 3. I've got a 3 hole in these. You can just pull the spring back, take that cup off, spring off. So your rebound rate is quite quick. So with spring on, it makes it's just to stop your spring from bouncing about, your spencer from bouncing about, and that's it. So we'll put this one together. So I'll put the shock body together. Just gonna put a bit of oil on this, a blob of oil on this shock rod, just to help it through them rubber seals. Just pull it through so it's sliding easy, so it slides nice and easy. Right, so you put your threads at bottom, you put your shock rod all the way up, and then you just squeeze some oil. Squeeze some oil into the top. So that's just off at the top there. So if you can see that, when you start pulling that down, you can see air coming out. Air's just bubbling out of it. So you pull it halfway down, fill it back up to the top, and then pull it down again a bit more. See air coming out of it as it goes down. So you've got enough oil in there now just to cover top of piston, and you fill it up just a few mil from off top of the body, and push your rod up and down, and that'll pull all air out as you pull it up, and as you pull the shaft up and down. So that needs a little bit more oil now because there's a little bit more air in there. I'll just put a bit more in at the top. Screw your lid on. Right, so when you push it, you can see that piston coming out, your shock rod coming out nice and steady. And if you listen to it, you can't hear any squeaking. If it squeaked, you'd know we're air in it, sign of having air in it. But that's strong enough to lift that body up on its own. And that's what you want really. a nice steady damping effect. So because I'm using them rose joints, them aluminium rose joints, I'm going to just put a nut on and then screw rose joint on to the bottom. And you get a 3mm bolt, any bolt will do. Put that in your rose joint and hold that bolt. And your 5.5mm spanner. And just lock that nut on there. So that's nice and tight. Just a good nip on there. Right, so that's a 1-hole damper. Nice and smooth, steady rate. And this is a 3-hole. So if I pull them down with my fingers, can't hold that one. When I let go of these, you can see the difference in speed. That one's all the way out, and that one don't come all the way out. So when you've got your springs on there, that's quite quick at rebounding. Put this spring on there. That one's not quite. Mind you, it does, with spring it does move quite quick, but it's quite hard to press. So that's a bit tougher. That's a bit of a tougher shocker than that one. So keep them separated. Because I'm going to do two. I've got 2 3-holes and I'm going to do 2 1-holes. So you want to start with a E-clip. Put that onto the rod, onto your piston rod, and squash that over on there. So the only parts I'm using off of this sprue that you get with these wheel shockers is that 1-hole, and then the spring cup. All these other bits are all spare bits. So you can put these spacers in. They clip over at body at shock between spring and top to make it harder, to make suspension harder. So I'll put that rod in on there. They give you 2 spare E-clips in case you lose them. And for some reason I've got loads of spare seals. That's your shock rod made up with your 1-hole disc and your E-clips on. And I want the body, the shocker body itself. So they're quite, they are plastic. They're not as good as the metal ones, I suppose, but they'll do. They come in Mitsubishi kit standard, so you can't complain. Better than friction dampers, than standard CW01 chassis friction dampers. So you put 2 seals in the end of the body. Screw your base cap on to the bottom of it. That's all the way on. So we run a bit of oil on. Pull the piston rod through, and you just run it up and down so it seals, so the oil gets on seals, and then it's smooth operation. If you, so we hold it just from the top, fuel mill from the top, squeeze a load of oil in there till that comes up to the top, and as you pull it down you'll see air come out, a big gulp of air come out. You can get about halfway down. Fill it back up to the top. And you can pull it all the way out. And then you're about halfway with oil, so you can fill it up, put enough oil in it to take it just under full. Be about 5 mil from the topish. And just work the piston rod steadily up and down, and that draw the rest of the air out. Put a smidgen more oil in. Do it again. And put your rubber boot on top. And screw your cap on. So there's a bit of air between that boot and your cap. So therefore you've got a bit of air in there. That's air in the rubber boot, so that forces your oil back down. You compress that up. Then your oil runs back down on it. Right, so I'll just rub this nut off here. It's got the nuts are sided. There's one side that's flat and one side slightly domed. You put your dome to the top of the shaft, top of your thread, so that your two flat sides, these two flat sides come together. So same again, just put your screw in your bolt holes, then lock that nut on. Put that nut on there, so you've got, so that's your joint and everything on. And get your spring. And that's your shocker. That's your shock unit sorted. So them two are the same rebound rate. So I think I'll put these on back, so that with the extra weight on over at back end, they should react alright. So I'll put these to left hand side, then the front ones to right hand side, and that is shock absorbers made, oil dampers made for your Tamiya kits. You do the same system on all of them, on all Tamiya stuff, so it doesn't really matter that this is for the Mitsubishi CW01 chassis, but it's just the same as all others, same process as building all others up. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you again next one.